This is easily the most performative setup I've ever done. It is embarrassing proportions of performative, when the truth is I actually moved from filming stuff on the couch to filming at the table because my back started hurting. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. If you are familiar with the content I've been posting over the past few months, you're familiar with the concept of I am just posting in general, even though I don't like posting. It is very important to express, because I go by this saying of like, when the desire to express is suppressed, you become depressed. And I'm trying my best not to get depressed, and I feel pretty good recording all of these and drawing a bunch of things and just making things. So I'm trying to do that more and just share with you all my journey as much as possible. And so on that note, today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a couple weeks now, actually, and it is the idea of keeping myself accountable creatively. There's no script for this, by the way. What I mean by that is the idea of making sure I am holding myself to the standard of posting and sharing my work, because I feel like a lot of artists are like this too. I get really shy about sharing my work. I don't like talking about my work in public. Whenever my wife and I are ever in a public space, she is always the one to bring up that I draw or animate something. Like, she'll be the first one to mention it, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, do you really?" And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, do you have an account you post on?" And I was like, no. I don't post. I do have accounts to post on. I just have not been posting super frequently. I'd upload on YouTube every now and then. Like, I uploaded like 3 videos over the summer, and now suddenly I'm uploading these art videos again. But that is because I was very recently inspired, motivated, encouraged, and conflicted all at the same time to start posting again. Again, I don't like sharing my work, but with the career path I have chosen, it requires my work to be seen. Like, I don't know if anyone new is watching, but if you know me, you know my dream is to become an animator. Yes, I want to be an artist. Yes, I want to make a manga one day, but my big thing is I want to make animations. Specifically 2D animation, like hand-drawn. I'm leaning more towards that, though I love 3D animation. I especially love old 3D animation. If I ever make something, it's just going to be made in Blender Eevee. Like, it's not going to look like Pixar level, because I don't want to do like a realistic style. But anyway, yeah, I want to get into the animation industry, whatever that looks like, preferably anime. One of my role models is Vincent Chansard. He is a phenomenal animator, and I think he's also from France. If I'm mistaken, someone please correct me. He is the reason I began thinking to myself, oh, I can get in the animation industry. Like, I always thought, like, for some reason, it's impossible to get into the animation industry as an American. Like, I thought they exclusively do, like, in-house type stuff. But as the animation industry has changed, and, like, there is rising talent from literally all over the world, and there are many projects to be done, and for that talent to like kind of spread out to work on those projects, outsourcing has increased by a lot. And I don't know Vincent Chansard's exact situation, but I know he started with posting fan animations on Twitter, and they were very good. The first time I saw one was like this one of My Hero Academia, and it was so good. I genuinely thought it was CGI, and I wouldn't even be upset if it was. I was that impressed by it. It just looked amazing. And the first time I saw that, I was just blown away. And then the more I've just kind of kept up with the work he does, so inspiring, unbelievable. So I want to get in the animation industry. And something my wife, Mary Beth, has been saying to me is I won't necessarily be able to unless I start sharing my work. And she was specifically talking about animation, but I kind of took that in a more broad way. I need to start sharing my work, my gifts, if you will, in general. I don't by any means consider myself a professional. Like, I don't think I'm a professional artist. I think I'm just kind of fumbling and finding my way as I go, and I'm sharing that journey with you all. But I get really shy about posting my work, and I don't like talking about it. But it's really important for artists to share their work. Otherwise, like, they're just gonna kind of have all that pent up, So I've really been learning to express more, not just with videos, not just with talking, but now I'm learning to do so with my drawings and maybe eventually my animations, because I have been practicing animation. Maybe I'll throw in a couple clips of what I'm working on currently in there. I don't know. I won't show fully what I'm working on because they're not done. So anyway, my wife began encouraging me, saying like, oh, this stuff is so good. You need to be posting these things because other people are gonna think they're cool. Just like I think the things other artists post is also really cool. And I always think to myself, oh, but everybody's creative, so like I'm not going to impress anyone really. But like I myself get very, very impressed by other works people do. Like just because we can all draw doesn't mean we're not impressed by each other's works. I will say Vincent Chancellor can do things I am not even capable of understanding. And I hope to be really, really good one day. There's no chance I will be as good as him. But I do want to get really, really good at animation. The unfortunate part is animation takes a long time, as I am finding out. But it starts with posting. I'm trying to get over like this fear of posting where like I'm not necessarily losing sleep over posting and like, oh my gosh, what are people gonna think of this? And like is it good? Is it bad? Do I look like a narcissist? Like stuff like that. So I'm just trying my best to throw caution to the wind and just share my gifts. And I have another reason for this too. It's not just because my wife was very sweet and encouraging about it. Genuinely, she was very encouraging about it. She is the reason I have the strength and courage to do this in the first place. My other reason is more like spiritual conviction. If any new viewers don't know, I am a follower of Jesus. I do believe in Jesus as God. I believe in God himself. I believe he died for my sins. I believe anything bad I ever have done or will do, because he knows everything I will do, it's already been paid for on the cross, which is a really beautiful thing and something I can't necessarily comprehend. I still struggle a lot with like trying to earn my salvation, but that is an entirely different topic. Salvation is a free gift. You cannot get it yourself and you cannot give it away, which is really beautiful, but that is a completely different topic. That's just context. I'm a follower of Jesus and I do believe in God. I believe he exists. I believe he speaks to me, but not in like that weird prosperity gospel way of like, thus saith the Lord told me to tell you to give me thousands of dollars. I am not going to say names. But more so like a really, really intimate relationship of like, there's an old song when I was little called Jesus is My Best Friend, and I think it's a really sweet song. It's more so like that, and the Lord has really, I believe he's really showed me a lot of beauty in creating and the things he wants me to make. I don't know if I've talked about this before. Something I have only shared with like very, very close people that I trust, but I have synesthesia. If you don't know what that is, it is a condition that allows your senses to overlap. So what that means is when you are hearing something, you can also see it or something like that. It literally works with all your senses. For me, it's when I hear something, I can see it. And it can be super vivid, especially when I close my eyes, but I'm sure that goes for a lot of people. Creatives, I don't know if you've ever listened to music with your eyes closed, but it is a phenomenal experience. When I was a teenager, we had a swing in our backyard, and I would just go out there. It was super cold, so I would like put my hood up, but I would just go out on the swing, put my headphones in, start swinging, and I'd have my eyes closed. And I don't know if it was like the motion with my eyes closed, like the centrifuge. I don't know how that works, but it felt really nice. And on top of that, with the music playing in my ear, I could see things, you know, like I could animate things in my head. You know that meme that says like, I paused my imaginary OCAMV to be here? It's a lot like that. So that is some context. That is a way I think the Lord has uniquely shown me how to process life events. Like it's very animated. I think at the end of the day, it's a hyperactive imagination that is occasionally powered by the Holy Spirit, because sometimes he has allowed me to see things that are they are not visions. I want to make that very clear. I do not believe they're visions, but I believe the Lord just shows me very, very beautiful animation per se. And like sometimes it'll apply to life events and it's like, oh, that's how I do this thing, or that's how I should go about this situation. By no means is it like a predictor of the future or anything like that. So with that context in mind, I also have developed this habit. I've developed it for like years now. I think I started doing it in 2018. I think it just became a coping mechanism. I started to process life events or life struggles happening to me as like antagonists, like characters. Like I have character sheets for almost every situation I've ever been through in the past few years. Like, for example, I had this character who represented imposter syndrome when I was serving at this church a couple years ago. His name was Ias. It's E-I-A-S, like Elias, but without the L. But I called him Ias because it sounds like I-S, which stands for imposter syndrome. Anyway, he looked like this. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, so that is how I process a lot of things. And I like got really insecure about stuff like this because like I would think to myself like, oh, like, well, I'm schizophrenic. Like, I don't know. I don't think I am. Everyone says I'm not. If you can't tell, I'm very nervous to be talking about this. But yeah, so that is how I cope with life events. That's how I process things. And with that, the Lord has began to convict me to start sharing the things I see. Not necessarily to kind of like, thus saith the Lord on other people's lives, but just to show them like, I don't know, something cool and inspire them, I guess. And in a sense, like maybe make you guys think you're not alone. Maybe if you all experience the same thing, that would help me if I found out I wasn't alone in like this thought process and stuff. But I want to help and encourage people a lot. And I think the Lord has placed it in me to encourage people using my gift of creation that he has given me. I don't think by any means what I possess is raw talent. I do think it specifically comes from the Lord. I will credit him for that. It just does require obedience on my part. And I have not been very obedient lately. For years, actually. So the Lord began convicting me about posting, and like what my wife said, she said, like, this could impact so many people, and so many people would think this is cool. Like, if someone just thought something was cool, to me, that is the bare minimum. Like, I will go to bed happily if someone just finds something I make cool. But if it can go further and help someone, or maybe, like, it can speak to someone's situation, like, that's beautiful. Anyway, I will now share a post that put all this in motion. This was a post that my wife shared with me the other day. It's from someone on Instagram called Thief of Boredom. Their account seems pretty cool, so please check it out if you'd like. They posted something on Instagram, a couple like graphic slides. I'm probably gonna put their graphics up on screen. I did not make the graphics I'm about to show you. These were made exclusively by Thief of Boredom. So here we go. These are the slides. I'm gonna read them. The Creator and the Created. Why your art matters to God. You were made by a God who sculpted galaxies and called it the beginning. The enemy fears every truth your work exposes. The impulse to make something from nothing is the fingerprint of the divine in you. Beauty threatens every kingdom built on despair. You cannot hide your gift without hiding God's image. If you fear failure, fear hiding more. Those last two quotes especially ruined me the first time I heard them. Just the line, you cannot hide your gift without hiding God's image. It's just a really beautiful idea of like how you can kind of see God's creativity in everything around you, including what other people make. It is beautiful. And I really like the line, beauty threatens every kingdom built on despair. When I'm having a bad day, you know what can fix it the majority of the time, like 9 times out of 10? 1, my wife, because I love her a lot and she is my light. But 2, a good animation. When I see a good piece of art, when I see a really good animation, it feels something in me, like something in me explodes in my chest. And I love that feeling. And that is a feeling I want to invoke in other people through the things I create eventually. I just think that's really inspiring. Like animation to me is so great. It's so powerful. It's such a creative way to tell stories and inspire people. Sometimes if an animation is good enough, I will start tearing up. The idea of beauty threatens every kingdom built on despair, like that just reminds me so much of like the experiences I've had and the ways art has inspired me, even on my bad days. And then the line, you cannot hide your gift without hiding God's image. That was hard as rocks. And the line right after, if you fear failure, fear hiding more. And I'm going to talk about this in another video, but it reminds me a lot of the story of Gideon. I'm going to kind of speed run this here. Gideon was hiding from these people called the Midianites because the Midianites kept showing up to his village and like taking all their stuff and then beating them up and then leaving. So the Israelites were afraid to do literally anything, because if they did, the Midianites will come right over and pillage their stuff. But Gideon was hiding in the wine press, threshing wheat, which last I checked, you don't thresh wheat in a wine press. So you very much have the context of like, oh, he's hiding. He's doing his work while hiding because he's afraid of what could happen to him if he's exposed, like if he's out in the open. And I feel like a lot of artists experience that. They're very afraid to show their art because it is literally a part of them. It is their soul. It is like their being. It is literally the image of them and the image of God, if that makes sense. I'm freeballing this whole thing. And that just really, really convicted me. So I want to start sharing more, even though I'm not a fan of sharing stuff. But like, again, how selfish is that of me on my part? If you fear failure, fear hiding more. You cannot hide your gift without hiding God's image. Like, I'm basically gatekeeping, right? And I'm not saying that to say, like, my art is the greatest of all time, and it's so selfish of me to hold it back because it could change millions of lives. That's not what I'm saying. If it could change even one life, or if it could just make someone's day, if it can make their chest swell, that is great. Job well done, in my opinion. But again, how selfish of it is me to have this gift to create and to make beautiful things and then to not do anything with it, or to even do something with it but never show it to other people. Like, that is selfish. So I want to keep myself accountable. I want to start posting a lot more. I think I want to start doing like a creative journey documentation, maybe in like this style, where I just kind of want to keep myself accountable, checking in, talking about things I'm working on, things I want to work on, and things I'm learning in this whole process. And one more thing. This is the last thing that just sparked this entire thing. I had this really morbid thought a couple weeks ago, and it was this idea with everything I've shared. It was this idea that I'm eventually going to die. And when I die, I think of it as like there's like a score of like, how many things were you able to share with people? Like, I see so many things. I think of so many things that like whatever God like shows me, again, not as a vision, just things that I want to create, things I want to talk about, things I want to do, but ultimately just things I see creatively and want to bring to reality, right? But the clock is ticking. Like, for every moment I'm sitting here not sharing something with someone and doing my best to impact their lives, when I die, that is that many more pieces that will never see the light of day. So for example, say in my 25 years of living, I've seen 300 things. It's more than that, but still. Say I've seen 300 things, or I've been inspired to create 300 different things. And let's say I die unexpectedly, and I only ended up creating 250. There are now 50 things that I saw up here that were like up here, and they were never brought to reality, and people never got to see them. And that breaks my heart to think about, truly. So I just want to treat that with a reverence. I want to do my best to share and express an impact. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else on here relates, but that is all I've got on my chest. So thank you for watching. Very long video. I did not think it was going to be this long. By the way, I keep talking about my wife, and I'm sure as I've like thrown my hands in the air, you've been like, oh, but where's the ring? Right here, baby. I have tattoos now. There's an M here. I don't know if you can see it. And then I have a ring tattoo. I really, really like it. So yeah, and the rings on this finger got from my sister when she went to the Georgia Aquarium. And then this one is my wife's very first ring she ever bought from an antique store, I believe. So it's very special to her, and she basically gave it to me as like my engagement ring when we got engaged last summer. Anyway, that was a little side point. Thank you for watching if you're still here. I hope this helps and inspires you a lot, and let me know what you think of this. So that's all. Thank you for watching.